Murder Drones is a story about robots, but it seems to draw inspiration from fallen angels as well as vampirism. So today, we're going to break down all of these connections and what it says about the world of Murder Drones as a whole. But real quick, I want to remind you all that we will be having a live stream interview with the cast of Murder Drones this Saturday, February 25th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We have Elsie Lovelock as the voice of Uzi, Michael Kovac as Designation N, and Nola Klopp as Designation V. The cast will be autographing beautiful artistic prints of their characters that you can purchase at the Streamily shop using the link in the pinned comment down below. In addition to these 3 cast members at the stream, Emma Breezy, the voice of Doll, is also signing prints, so you can get one of her if she is your favorite character too. As long as the shop shows prints available to sell, you can still buy one even after the stream, so check out the link and see what's still available. The story of Murder Drones is essentially the story of human mythology retold with robots. In many mythologies, humans are created by gods, but with the purpose of serving them. Even the Garden of Eden narrative of the Old Testament describes Adam as being made to work in the garden for the god Yahweh. Like with many mythologies, humans would be liberated from this job and given enlightenment by the fruit of knowledge of good and evil, but then punished by being cast into the earth. In Murder Drones, what we have is the worker drones, artificial intelligence, who have grown smart enough to take care of and maintain themselves and no longer feel the need to work for the humans who created them. Then the worker drones were attacked by a wave of robots called disassembly drones, who were not just similar to fallen angels, but to vampires, which to many people are the same thing as far as comparative mythology goes. The disassembly drones were, as far as we know, not any different from the worker drones of Copper 9 when they were found in the dump by Tessa on planet Earth. At some point, the humans decided to wipe out the worker drones of Copper 9 and to use Tessa's servant drones to do so, likely sending the last of the worker drones on Earth as part of this suicide mission. They were equipped with wings, lethal tails, and have the ability to regenerate. They need oil to survive, the oil of other worker drones, as without it they will overheat. Even N, the least evil of his team, seems to take pleasure in the drinking of oil and associates that with part of the hunting process. They had their memories as worker drones wiped and were sent down to wipe out all of the worker drones on Copper 9, and then would combust from the heat when they can no longer sustain themselves from their oil and die out as well. In addition to this, N is also seen sleeping upside down like a bat, but what really drives the similarities to vampires home is that he says in episode 1 that he can't even go and look at a nearby sun with Uzi, indicating that alone may be enough for him to overheat and die. Now, fallen angels have different interpretations throughout history, and the term fallen angel can really cover more of a tradition of stories in different cultures, as opposed to just the Christian idea of it. However, even in the Bible, there are some interesting similarities. In Genesis 6:1, we get an explanation of the state of the world leading up to the Great Flood and Noah's building of the Ark. The text describes the sons of God taking the daughter of man as wives and seemingly creating giants in the process, though this passage is controversial for having a lot of different interpretations. However, in the 3rd century BC, the Book of Enoch was written to answer some of these questions surrounding the vague Bible passage, expanding on the story leading up to the flood of Noah's grandfather Enoch. In this book, it said that beings called Watchers, but often translated as angels, were sent down to watch over humanity, but lusted after human women, who then gave birth to giants that ran out of food and started to consume the smaller humans. What sets vampires apart from these Nephilim, or these children of fallen angels, is that vampirism can spread. And interestingly, in Murder Drones, we appear to see a middle ground between these two. As far as we can see, there is no process that takes a worker drone on Copper 9 and turns them into a disassembly drone the way that N, J, and V are. Instead, this sort of robotic vampirism spreads with a technological virus called Absolute Solver. Absolute Solver activated for J when she was destroyed by Uzi and couldn't rebuild herself. The Absolute Solver program created holograms that lured real worker drones in, destroying them, and then slowly repurposed their parts to recreate J. We've also seen it activated in Doll, as well as Uzi herself, and if the Absolute Solver is to be believed, this happened to Uzi at a very young age and alongside her own mother, as this is the image that the Absolute Solver projects to Uzi in their battle during episode 2. So far, I theorize it to be a virus that jumps onto worker drones during confrontations with disassembly drones. This way, if a worker drone doesn't get destroyed by the disassembly drone, they'd take it into hiding with them, and eventually turn on their own people, as the Absolute Solver seems to drive Doll to eat worker drones just like the disassembly drones do. The Absolute Solver seems to give the worker drone special powers, and there are different levels to the Absolute Solver, as Adult indicates that Uzi's is not just different from hers, but that she is sorry for Uzi because of what the Absolute Solver will do to her in particular. Tangled up in all this, we have Tessa, a human who in many ways is a Lucifer-type figure. Now, Lucifer is seen as a wholly evil character in our modern view of him, but the Lucifer tradition also includes enlightening characters that appeared to have good intentions, such as Prometheus. But in media, these types of characters can be very ambiguous, with them having greater intentions, often even beyond the scope of the higher beings behind them, who in this case appear to be the other humans. The humans have a disdain for the worker drones overall, and find their use around the mansion to be very off-putting. Apparently N and the other drones were only here because of Tessa finding them at the dump. While some fans took this to mean the wigs came from the dump, we can see a shot in the trailer for Season 1 of Murder Drones with what appears to be piles of destroyed worker drones, and Tessa seems to be the kind of person to go there to find ones that still have some function left in them and fix them up. They come without clothes or hair, so the wigs in particular are an extra effort Tessa goes through to humanize them, which is odd because she herself seems very unkempt and not as well presenting as the other humans, let alone the drones. Because of this, it's easy to imagine her as someone who absolutely loves the drones. However, it became the mission of J.C. Jensen to destroy the worker drones of Copper 9, and Tessa was sent with the disassembly drones as a technician. I theorize that at this point in Earth's history, worker drones had been largely phased out on Earth, with the remaining ones in dumps being taken by enthusiasts like Tessa, who I imagine to be the daughter of someone important at J.C. Jensen, explaining why she lives in the same mansion as this person and that her drones would be sent to Copper 9. With J.C. Jensen having more power than her, she would have to equip her beloved drones to become monsters sent on a suicide mission that would kill even more drones before her own died from overheating. However, like with the Lucifer-type character, she may have a bigger agenda she is playing at. She may not care about the worker drones of Copper 9 and would be happy to see them mostly wiped out, but her real interest may be in creating a system that sustains her disassembly drones. Perhaps rationing the worker drones to keep her own alive as long as possible, or even reversing the overheating issue entirely and reclaiming Copper 9 as drone territory under her particular control. Tessa appears to have a fixation on drones, but that doesn't mean she loves them in the traditional sense, though. Her unkempt appearance makes her look as if she doesn't fit in with the other humans. They see the worker drones as a tool, not something human, and thus hate seeing them humanized in likeness by wigs. But Stella is apparently happy for them to not just be human-like, but also her servants. Perhaps her love for the drones is not just because she finds them endearing and sees their innate potential, but perhaps because she likes to rule over servants who are not as intelligent as her, but just human enough to make her not feel alone, the way that the other humans tend to make her feel. But what do you guys think? Are they fallen angels, vampires? Is Tessa Lucifer? Is every cartoon literally just ancient mythology being recontextualized for a modern audience? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and don't forget to check out the Streamily link where you can purchase autographed prints of your favorite Murder Drones characters, and I'll see you guys at the stream on Saturday.